The process of making bread calls upon each of your senses in a sustained back and forth, a give and take. With sourdough starter, it is one of coddling and care. One must track burgeoning scents, growth, and other changes. Then there is the meditative choreography of shaping and forming the dough, of muscle memory honed by experience. The finished product bears the mark of your direct physical effort. It is one of the truest examples of something made by hand. At Dear Grain, a sourdough-based bakery, and by that I mean sourdough everything, not only bread, but also cakes and cookies, Adri and Lydia are sort of like thoughtful wizards. They started baking sourdough to answer a client's request for a bread that would meet their child's dietary needs. To this day, they continue that mindful responsiveness to their community, to their own creativity, and to the bread itself. Good morning, Adri.
Please come in.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So right now we're working on our main dough, which is what we do country from, the seeded from, and the silhouettes. You can see Jill shaping it. This is one of our high hydration doughs. So this does like around 83, 84 hydration, meaning the amount of water you're going to have a shot at trying to make it.
What is the draw of working with a dough that has this much hydration in it?
One, you have a longer shelf life. So the more water the dough absorbs, the longer the bread will stay fresh. But the most important, and what got me into making this bread, is digestibility. So when the dough absorbs more water, it's more easily to digest. When the flour, like when you have lower hydration doughs that have less water, they absorb the liquids from your body and swell, and that's what creates sort of the bloating feeling and slows the digestion. Where this absorbs almost everything that it can, plus the combination of having it sourdough, so it's sort of pre-digested, and when it goes into your system, it just dissolves. And that's something I can say in words, but when you actually eat one next to the other, you'll feel the difference in your body. When I stretch this, that's what you call the gluten comes. This is the stretchability, is the part where the gluten takes effect. And that's what creates the surface tension that would actually help to do the dough. If I put too much surface tension on the dough, it's kind of
like
the
a
dough is
corset.
cramped and it cannot expand. If I do too loose, the dough collapses. And you need to find the middle, like anything in life. Okay, so you stretch the same thing over. Yeah. Very good, over the middle. Excellent. Then the same thing, you go from the front, stretch it out from you, feel the resistance, and over. And it's really about finding the balance between being assertive and gentle. This dough needs gentle. As I said that to the team, always like a baby. You know, treat it with care, but be assertive. It needs to feel your confidence. And now we'll go for the stitching, which is going across. So you'll pull this straight over. 1, 2. Okay? Over here. 1, 2. Very good. And keep going over and under. So now you pull it towards you. Again, surface tension, halfway. Anchor it with your fingers. Your thumbs behind. Tuck it in a bit. And with your thumbs, you sort of roll it 90 degrees over. Beautiful. Okay? Now comes like the baby part. You cradle it. You sort of hold it under. And then you lay it into the pan.
And you can feel in it how much air and moisture that you're sort of trapping in with all of those turns.
Yes. So for us, it's sort of the balance of finding what is the right fermentation to start working with. And if you learn to adapt your sensitivity to the dough, which changes every day, to the type of loaf, other than being a good baker, it teaches you a lesson in life.
This is the same dough that you're using in the pans, but instead we're doing them in the basket this time. So this one is a little bit more free form when it bakes.
Yes, that's a big part of the art, is to learn the shaping, the texture, how to create the right texture and shape. And one of the ways that you do that is also with the scoring, with the type of scoring of how you do it. And just for general knowledge, kind of the scoring, what it does, it really, you cut open the bread, which enables the bread to expand. And so when the baking happens later, you'll see it, the inside of the bread, from the pressure of the air, there's so much heat in the oven, like 500 degrees. So all the air that's trapped inside from the fermentation expands. And so the whole bread, like, you know, kind of like it wants to open up. However, if you score too much, like anything, it will go flat because it doesn't have enough support. If you score too little, you'll feel the bread kind of like tight. I didn't really choose bread, it chose me. I was cooking before and I worked as a private chef for a family, and they asked me to make bread, gluten-free bread at the beginning. And they were very happy, and then the other parts of the family wanted bread too, and they introduced me to Chad Robinson. They gave me the Book of Tartine. I said, can you make that? And a whole new world just opened up for me. I'm a home baker, I didn't go to a school. Nobody trained me. It's just listening to what the ingredients have to tell you. The next step is you can take the score. And again, this is
One movement.
You can do it like a surgeon, one clean movement, but you can also kind of just go at it slowly. I've tested both. Both work.
Okay.
You can always go back again. There's no such thing as perfect loaf. So just kind of enjoy it. If I go the slow way, I'm just kind of, that's the slow way.
Okay.
If I go a quick way, I'm just gonna go this one, not so deep. A lot of the people who like our breads enjoy savory breads. Like every Thursday, we do a specialty loaf. It's usually spontaneous, but some repetitive, and sometimes could be roasted garlic, beets, pumpkin. The other day for Ossington, we have a shop in Ossington. We did Asian mushrooms all into the loaf. The next day was more Mediterranean mushrooms, so whatever kind of feels good, and people really enjoy that. You push it all the way in,
Okay.
okay? Let it go in, go on top, and now pull all the way back. Very good. Go to the other side,
To
close
the
it
side,
here.
this side here.
Yep.
Close here.
So the sound that you hear is the oven releasing steam into the oven. And the steam, as it fills the bread, it keeps the skin of the bread soft so the bread can open up. After about 10 minutes, the bread gets the full size that it gets to, and then it starts to form the crust. So this oven would slowly start to extract the steam, and the crust would develop and get the color for it. And once it's ready, the oven actually would be clear of the steam, and we'll pull the bread out. So if I open it, you'll see the steam is going to come out a little bit. And you can see that the cheese has sort of got the dark color. And if you look at the loaves behind, they're dark, but they still have a sort of golden color. And we like to get it a bit more darker and robust, because that's the caramelization of the skin brings the flavor out.
I can smell it from here.
Yeah?
And you can see it's
You can
bubbling.
see it's still
yeah.
bubbling.
It's
And
still
one of the
bubbling.
things that we check, when I turn it, you can hear the, like knocking on a door, on a hollow door. That means the bread is ready. And you can see the bubbles on the surface. You see those bubbles? That's from the fermentation. So when you have a good fermentation, when it's long enough, all these bubbles here on the skin, like it's blistered, that's a good thing. This is straight out of the oven. Normally you would not cut it. The bread needs time to settle. The more hydration that's in the dough, the more time the bread needs to settle. For example, the porridge loaf needs 6 hours at least before it's done.
Cooking and baking is not something that just happens when heat is applied. It is also that cooling process.
I'm like, when I see a crumb like this, I'm like, Every
you can
time.
see
I don't get tired.
And the crust is thin.
The crust is thin. It's sort of, you can see the openness. It's not too tight. It means the shaping was not overdone.
Fantastic.
You can see some of the chunks of the cheeses are still soft and sort of wet. It's really hot to eat, so just watch it. But it's gorgeous. Like the crust is really crispy, and there's just nothing else like that, you know?
Cheers. I love how you get the thyme. There is such a bright greenness to it right off the bat. Is that I'm getting the thyme and I'm getting a herbaceousness, and then the cheese kind of sneaks its way in at the end there.
Look.
But you can
We
see.
can look later. But this is the one that I cut straight in the middle.
And
so
how
the
much
ears
it's open.
opened in the middle and it burst out. Versus the other one that you can see it if you want to compare next to it.
It has much
It had
more verticality
sideways.
to it. Yeah.
Now here you can see this
Where
is,
it hesitated.
This is called hesitation.
Yeah. So that was my first one. Let's see if I did better on my second. If I had less hesitation there.
Way better.
See? There you go.
Way better. I mean, these are
This
really.
is called brave, and that's called
You know,
fearful.
this is 1 kilo loaves, and our loaves that we sell are smaller, and I don't want to sell them small. This is like, for me, the proportions of that, the colors is just gorgeous. That's what I want to sell. Unfortunately, that's not what people want to buy.
Why do you think that is?
Because it's too big for them. Most people don't believe they will eat so much bread. Eventually, when they buy it, they finish it too fast and they come for more. You know, I look at it and my heart, you can't see my heart inside, but it's like blooming like a flower. It's like, oh, I'm just looking with joy, you know? When I first started, and if you talk to my wife, Lydia, when we started, I was so curious, like insanely curious, and I always wanted to experiment with the dough and try different things, and every day I would do a little tweak. But for the team, they can't see the nuances that I see, so I had to tone back and to create more of a consistency. So now as the bakery evolved, we have our regular breads, the country, the seeded, the porridge. The customers know what they're coming for, but then we have room for creativity to start doing special things, and whoever wants to do that is welcome to try. When Lydia and I started making bread, we were working at 87, 92, 93 hydration, which was like liquidy. It was like this. This is 90 hydration, by the way. This is dough. And so we worked with that high hydration, but as people started to come to learn, they were so overwhelmed and unprepared that we had to reduce the hydration so they can adapt. I was just basically absent at home.
This was a way to
I
spend
was
time.
like 18, 20 hours. We lived maybe a minute, 2-minute walk from the bakery. And I just, all the time spent there, completely delved in the process. And she'd just show up one night. What can I do to help? And then the next night, what can I do to help? And I said, what are you doing here? Like, and she said, if I'm not coming here, I will never see you. And she never left since then.
I said, okay, I will jump in. It's very new thing for me. I didn't know if I want to do that at all. Through baking the bread, I discovered that I like more, I think my passion is going towards pastry, and it is in pastry, especially the cakes and cookies. And that's, we are finding out that it's like the sourdough helps for a better shelf life.
We are a pair. It's true that in the bakery, I'm sort of the face of the bakery, and the initiation and the energy comes from me, but without her support, sometimes without her being around, I'm like a loose leaf. I'm just like, but when she comes, it's like I can stand. And so to run a business without her, I cannot imagine. You know, it incorporates all the elements: earth, water, fire, air, and the elements is what we're made of. And so this is a reflection partly of who we are.
It's like bread speaks to the oldest part of ourselves.
I think so. It's just really basic. And obviously you can make it in different ways, but you know, this basic thing, it does it to me.